Welcome, dear viewers, here is the story of Saint Eric, the Lion of Light. It is a very interesting story, watch it until the end. In the heart of medieval Europe, in a small, peaceful village nestled among the towering mountains, lived a humble shepherd named Alaric. His life was simple, marked by quiet devotion to God and the serene rhythm of the land. But one fateful night, as Alaric tended his flock under a canopy of stars, a brilliant light descended from the heavens. The air shimmered, and within the light, Alaric heard a voice, the voice of God, calling him to lead his people and restore the true faith across the land. Countryside, he began to preach, sharing the word of God with anyone who would listen. His voice, though soft, carried a power that moved the hearts of all who heard it. Miracles began to follow in his footsteps, blind men saw, the lame walk. Word of this holy man spread quickly, and soon, people from all walks of life sought him out. Among them were three who would become his closest companions: Lucius, a former soldier with a strong arm and a courageous heart; Miriam, a healer whose knowledge of herbs and remedies was unmatched; and Thomas, a scribe who recorded Alaric's teachings and deeds. Together, they formed a small band of disciples, devoted to spreading Alaric's message of faith, hope, and love. As Alaric's influence grew, so too did the opposition. In the distant court of King Vortigern, a ruler known for his tyranny and oppression, word of the prophet reached the king's ears. Vortigern, a pagan who ruled with an iron fist, felt threatened by the growing movement. He consulted his dark sorcerer, Morgoth, who warned him that Alaric was destined to challenge and overthrow his rule. Enraged, Vortigern declared Alaric and his followers enemies of the state and ordered their capture. One day, as Alaric preached in a small village on the edge of Vortigern's kingdom, the king's soldiers, led by the ruthless Captain Gareth, arrived to arrest him. Alaric, ever the man of peace, did not resist. He was taken in chains to Vortigern's castle, while his disciples, who managed to escape, vowed to free their beloved leader. Under cover of night, Lucius, Miriam, and Thomas infiltrated the dark and foreboding dungeon where Alaric was held. Using Lucius's knowledge of warfare and Miriam's healing arts, they overpowered the guards and freed Alaric. As they escaped into the wilderness, a sense of divine protection seemed to guide their steps. This miraculous escape only served to bolster the faith of Alaric's followers, who now saw him not only as a prophet but as a divinely chosen leader. With Alaric free, the movement grew rapidly. Villagers, craftsmen, and even knights disillusioned with Vortigern's rule joined the cause. Alaric preached with renewed vigor, spreading his message of peace and divine justice. His growing army of believers, though poorly armed, was united by a common faith that made them strong. Vortigern, determined to crush this rebellion before it could grow any larger, sent a large force to intercept Alaric and his followers at the banks of the river Talone. The battle that ensued was fierce and brutal. Outnumbered and facing experienced soldiers, Alaric's forces seemed destined for defeat. But Alaric, standing at the front lines, prayed fervently for God's intervention. As if in answer, a thick fog rolled in, disorienting Vortigern's soldiers. The tide of battle turned, and Alaric's forces emerged victorious. This victory marked a turning point. Many more flocked to Alaric's banner, convinced that he was truly God's chosen. Vortigern, sensing that his throne was slipping from his grasp, retreated to his heavily fortified castle. But Alaric, now leading a substantial force, marched on the stronghold. The siege of Vortigern's keep was a battle of both physical and spiritual might. Morgoth, the dark sorcerer, unleashed powerful spells to defend the castle, but Alaric, with his unwavering faith, led his followers in prayer and battle. In a climactic confrontation, Alaric faced Morgoth in the heart of the castle. The sorcerer, revealed to be a fallen priest who had turned to dark magic, unleashed his most powerful curses. But Alaric's faith shielded him, and with a final prayer, he banished Morg. In his final years, Alaric received one last vision from God. He foresaw that his teachings would endure for generations and that the kingdom of light would stand as a beacon of hope and faith. Gathering his disciples, he imparted his final wisdom, ensuring that his message would be passed down through the ages. As he delivered his last sermon on a peaceful hill overlooking the kingdom of light, a radiant light surrounded him. Witnesses claimed that Alaric was taken up into the heavens, leaving behind only his staff and robes. His disciples and followers, in awe of what they had witnessed, vowed to continue his work, spreading the story of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history. As he delivered his last sermon on a peaceful hill overlooking the kingdom of light, a radiant light surrounded him. Witnesses claimed that Alaric was taken up into the heavens, leaving behind only his staff and robes. His disciples and followers, in awe of what they had witnessed, vowed to continue his work, spreading the story of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history. As Saint Alaric ascended into the heavens, his followers stood in awe, their hearts filled with a profound sense of loss and hope. The light that had surrounded him slowly faded, but its warmth lingered, a tangible reminder of the divine presence that had touched their lives. The hill where he had delivered his final sermon became a sacred site, a place. In the days following his ascension, Alaric's disciples gathered to decide the future of the kingdom of light. Though they were grieving, they knew that their work was far from over. Alaric had entrusted them with a sacred mission, to continue spreading the gospel, to uphold justice, and to ensure that the kingdom of light. Lucius, the warrior who had fought so bravely by Alaric's side, took up the mantle of protector, leading the kingdom's defenses and ensuring that it remained strong against any who would seek to undo the peace they had fought so hard to achieve. Miriam, the healer, dedicated herself to ca. Saint Alaric's disciples, now revered as the keepers of the light, continued to lead the kingdom with wisdom and compassion. Under their guidance, the kingdom of light grew not only in strength but in influence, its principles spreading to neighboring lands. Rulers from distant realms came to seek counsel, drawn by the stories of the great prophet who had transformed a humble shepherd's life into a beacon of hope for all humanity. And so, the story of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history, continued to inspire and uplift all who heard it, reminding them that through faith, courage, and love, even the most humble among us can change the world. His legacy lived on in the hearts of the faithful, a shining light that would never. Years passed, and the kingdom of light continued to prosper under the guidance of Saint Alaric's disciples. The land, once marred by tyranny and darkness, became a haven of peace and enlightenment, drawing pilgrims and scholars from far and wide. The teachings of Saint Alaric spread beyond the borders of the kingdom, inspiring movements of reform and renewal in distant lands. His legacy became the foundation of a new era, one where faith and justice reigned supreme. Lucius, now an older man, found solace in knowing that the kingdom he had helped protect was thriving. He retired from his duties as the kingdom's protector, passing the mantle to a younger generation of warriors who had been trained in the ways of righteousness and honor. Lucius spent his final days in quiet reflection, often visiting Alaric's rest, where he would kneel in prayer, feeling the presence of his old friend and leader. Miriam's healing arts continued to save countless lives. She established a great school of medicine, where students learned not only the physical aspects of healing but also the spiritual care that Alaric had taught. Miriam's legacy lived on through the many healers who carried forward her teachings, ensuring that the sick and suffering would always find comfort and care in the kingdom of light. Miriam's healing arts continued to save countless lives. She established a great school of medicine, where students learned not only the physical aspects of healing but also the spiritual care that Alaric had taught. Miriam's legacy lived on through the many healers who carried forward her teachings, ensuring that the sick and suffering would always find comfort and care in the kingdom of light. Thomas, the faithful scribe, completed the great tome of Saint Alaric's life and teachings, known as the Book of Light. It became the most revered text in the kingdom, a source of wisdom and guidance for all. Thomas, now considered one of the greatest scholars of his time, continued to write until the end of his days, recording the stories of those who had been touched by Saint Alaric's message. His writings ensured that future generations would know the truth of the prophet's life and the mirror. Together to celebrate the prophet who had led them out of darkness. The hill where he had ascended was adorned with a magnificent temple, a place of worship and contemplation where the faithful could feel the divine presence that had once walked among them. Together to celebrate the prophet who had led them out of darkness. The hill where he had ascended was adorned with a magnificent temple, a place of worship and contemplation where the faithful could feel the divine presence that had once walked among them. Generations later, the kingdom of light remained a symbol of all that was good and just. The memory of Saint Alaric lived on, not just in the stories told by elders, but in the hearts of every citizen. His teachings continued to guide their actions, his words a constant reminder that the path of righteousness was never easy, but always worth walking. And so, the legacy of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history, endured through the ages. His life was a testament to the power of faith and the impact one person can have when guided by divine purpose. The kingdom of light, built on his teachings, stood as a monument to his enduring influence, a place where the light of his wisdom would shine for all eternity. As the years rolled on, the Kingdom of Light continued to flourish, a shining example of faith and justice in a world still fraught with darkness. The teachings of Saint Alaric became the cornerstone of its society, guiding not only the rulers but also the common folk in their daily lives. The Book of Light, painstakingly written by Thomas, became a sacred text, its wisdom passed down from generation to generation. One day, many years after Saint Alaric's ascension, a great gathering was held at Alaric's Rest. Pilgrims from distant lands, kings, and scholars all came to honor the memory of the prophet who had changed the world. The temple at the hill had grown into a grand cathedral, its spires reaching toward the heavens, a symbol of the unbroken connection between the kingdom of light and the divine. During the gathering, an unexpected event occurred. As the sun set behind the mountains, casting a golden glow over the land, a brilliant light descended upon Alaric's Rest, just as it had on that fateful night when Alaric first received his divine calling. The people watched in awe as the light intensified, bathing the cathedral and the gathered crowd in its radiant warmth. From within the light, a figure emerged, familiar and yet transcendent. It was Saint Alaric, his presence as holy and serene as the day he was taken up into the heavens. The crowd fell to their knees, tears streaming down their faces, as they beheld the return of the prophet. Alaric's voice, calm and filled with love, echoed across the gathering. "My beloved people," he said, "you have remained faithful and steadfast in your devotion. The kingdom of light stands as a beacon to the world, a testament to what can be achieved when hearts are united in faith and love. I have returned to remind you that this journey is not over, and the light you carry must continue to shine in the darkest corners of the earth." Alaric then blessed the crowd, one by one, his touch filling them with a renewed sense of purpose and divine strength. He spoke to the rulers and leaders, reminding them of their sacred duty to govern with justice and compassion. He encouraged the scholars and priests to continue spreading his teachings, ensuring that the light of truth would never be extinguished. As the night grew deeper, Alaric's form began to fade, the light slowly receding back into the heavens. His final words echoed in the hearts of all present: "The kingdom of light is not just a place, but a state of being. It is in your hearts, in your actions, and in your faith. Carry this light with you, and know that I am always with you, guiding you from above." With that, the light disappeared, leaving behind a sense of peace and divine presence that lingered long after the gathering dispersed. The people returned to their homes, forever changed by the encounter, their faith strengthened and their resolve renewed. In the centuries that followed, the story of Saint Alaric's return became one of the most cherished tales in the Kingdom of Light. It was said that his spirit continued to watch over the land, guiding its people in times of trouble and blessing them in times of peace. The Kingdom of Light remained a symbol of hope and faith, its influence spreading far and wide, touching the lives of countless souls. And so, the legacy of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history, endured for all time. His teachings, his love, and his light became eternal, shining brightly in the hearts of all who believed. The Kingdom of Light stood as a beacon in the world, a place where the divine and the mortal coexisted in harmony, forever united by the teachings of the Lion of Light. As time went on, the Kingdom of Light became more than just a physical realm, it became a symbol of an enduring faith that transcended borders and generations. The story of Saint Alaric's miraculous return spread far beyond the kingdom, inspiring countless others to follow in his footsteps. His message of love, justice, and unwavering faith became the foundation upon which new communities and kingdoms were built. The keepers of the light, the disciples who had stood by Saint Alaric during his lifetime, were revered as saints in their own right. Their teachings, actions, and wisdom were passed down to their successors, ensuring that the spirit of Alaric's mission lived on. The Kingdom of Light grew into a center of learning and spirituality, where pilgrims and scholars from across the world came to seek guidance and wisdom. Alaric's Rest, the site of his ascension and return, became the most sacred place in the kingdom. The cathedral that had been built there was expanded over the years, becoming a grand complex of worship, study, and contemplation. Pilgrims came in droves, hoping to experience the divine presence that had been so powerfully felt during Alaric's return. The annual pilgrimage to Alaric's Rest became a tradition that united the people of the Kingdom of Light and those beyond its borders. As the years passed, the Kingdom of Light faced many challenges. Wars, natural disasters, and internal strife tested the faith and resilience of its people. Yet, each time, they emerged stronger, their belief in Saint Alaric's teachings guiding them through the darkest of times. The memory of Alaric's return became a source of strength, a reminder that they were never truly alone and that the light of their faith would always prevail. As the years passed, the Kingdom of Light faced many challenges. Wars, natural disasters, and internal strife tested the faith and resilience of its people. Yet, each time, they emerged stronger, their belief in Saint Alaric's teachings guiding them through the darkest of times. The memory of Alaric's return became a source of strength, a reminder that they were never truly alone and that the light of their faith would always prevail. Generations came and went, but the legacy of Saint Alaric remained ever present. The Kingdom of Light continued to be a beacon of hope and a model of what a just and faithful society could achieve. The teachings of the Lion of Light became ingrained in the very fabric of the kingdom, influencing its laws, culture, and way of life. The leaders of the Kingdom of Light, along with the keepers of the light, journeyed to the village to meet the child. When they arrived, they were filled with awe, for they saw in the child the same light that had surrounded Saint Alaric so many years ago. The child spoke with a wisdom far beyond their years, reminding the people of the Kingdom of Light of the teachings of Saint Alaric and calling them to renew their commitment to his path. It became clear that the light of Saint Alaric had not faded but had instead found a new vessel through which to continue its work. The child, now recognized as the new prophet, was brought to Alaric's rest, where they were welcomed with great joy and reverence. The people of the Kingdom of Light, once again united in faith and purpose, looked to the future with hope, knowing that the light that had guided them for so long would continue to shine through the ages. And so, the story of Saint Alaric came full circle. His teachings, his love, and his light were passed down from generation to generation, each new prophet carrying forward the mission that had begun so many centuries before. The Kingdom of Light remained a beacon in a world that still knew darkness, its people ever faithful, ever strong, and ever committed to the path of righteousness. In the end, the true legacy of Saint Alaric was not just the kingdom he had built, but the eternal light of faith that he had ignited in the hearts of all who believed. That light, passed from soul to soul, would never fade, ensuring that the Kingdom of Light, and the teachings of the greatest Christian prophet in history, would endure for all time. As the new prophet, a child of humble origins, grew in wisdom and stature, the Kingdom of Light once again found itself at a pivotal moment in its history. The child's visions and teachings rekindled the spirit of Saint Alaric, reminding the people of the core values that had built their kingdom: faith, justice, and unwavering commitment to the light. Under the guidance of the young prophet, the Kingdom of Light entered a new era of renewal and expansion. The child, who came to be known as the Lightbringer, brought fresh insights and interpretations of Saint Alaric's teachings, helping the kingdom navigate the complexities of the changing world. The Lightbringer emphasized the importance of compassion, unity, and the need to reach out to those beyond their borders, spreading the message of the Kingdom of Light to distant lands that had yet to know the warmth of its light. As the Lightbringer matured, they led the Kingdom of Light into a series of peaceful alliances with neighboring realms. These alliances were not built on conquest or domination, but on shared values and mutual respect, echoing the principles that Saint Alaric had lived by. The Lightbringer's influence extended far beyond the kingdom, as the message of love and justice found fertile ground in the hearts of people from many different cultures and backgrounds. In time, the Kingdom of Light became a vast and diverse empire, not through force, but through the power of its ideals. The Lightbringer, now a wise and beloved leader, guided this great empire with humility and grace, always pointing back to the teachings of Saint Alaric as the true source of their strength. As the years passed, the Lightbringer began to feel the same divine presence that had once called Saint Alaric. Knowing that their time was drawing near, they gathered the people of the Kingdom of Light for one final address. On a day much like the one when Saint Alaric had first ascended, the Lightbringer stood at Alaric's Rest, the sacred hill that had become the heart of the kingdom. With the entire kingdom gathered below, the Lightbringer spoke of the eternal nature of the light that had guided them for so long. They reminded the people that the true strength of the Kingdom of Light lay not in its walls or armies, but in the faith and love that bound them together. They urged everyone to continue living by the teachings of Saint Alaric, to keep the light burning in their hearts, and to pass it on to future generations. The kingdom's influence spread across continents, not through conquest, but through the power of example. The ideals of justice, mercy, and humility attracted emissaries and leaders from distant lands, who sought to learn the secrets of the kingdom's enduring peace and prosperity. Scholars from the Kingdom of Light traveled far and wide, sharing the wisdom of the Book of Light and the stories of Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer. Over time, the Kingdom of Light became a global beacon of hope. Other kingdoms and nations, inspired by its success, adopted similar principles in their own governance. The world, once divided by conflict and strife, began to see a new era of cooperation and understanding. The light that Saint Alaric had kindled so many years ago now illuminated the entire earth, guiding humanity toward a future of shared peace and prosperity. In the Kingdom of Light, the memory of Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer was kept alive through annual celebrations, where the people would gather at Alaric's Rest to honor their prophets. Songs were sung, stories were told, and the teachings of the prophets were recited to ensure that the flame of their legacy would never dim. As centuries passed, the Kingdom of Light remained steadfast in its mission to spread the light of faith, love, and justice. It became a place where people of all backgrounds could come to learn, grow, and connect with the divine. The great cathedral at Alaric's Rest became the spiritual heart of the world, drawing millions of pilgrims each year who sought to experience the peace and holiness of the sacred site. In time, the Kingdom of Light became known as the Eternal Kingdom, for it was a realm that seemed to transcend time itself. The teachings of Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer became universal, their words echoing across generations and guiding the hearts of all who believed in the power of the light. The world was transformed, unified by the principles that had been nurtured in a humble kingdom so long ago. And so, the story of Saint Alaric, the greatest Christian prophet in history, and the Lightbringer, his divine successor, came to its conclusion, but their legacy endured for all time. The Eternal Kingdom stood as a testament to the power of faith and the enduring impact of a single, humble light in the darkness. The world, forever changed by their teachings, lived in the peace and harmony that Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer had envisioned, a world where the light of the divine guided every soul, and the Kingdom of Light remained a shining beacon to all who sought the truth. The light, once kindled in the heart of a shepherd, now illuminated the entire world, ensuring that the Kingdom of Light, and the love and faith it represented, would indeed last forever. As generations passed, the Eternal Kingdom continued to thrive, a shining beacon of unity, wisdom, and divine purpose. The memory of Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer was cherished and kept alive through the stories told by elders to the young, through the teachings preserved in the great libraries, and through the sacred rituals performed at Alaric's Rest. Each year, during the Festival of Light, the kingdom would pause to reflect on the profound legacy of its prophets, renewing its commitment to the path they had set. Despite the passage of time, challenges still arose. The world was ever-changing, and new trials tested the resolve of the Eternal Kingdom. There were periods of doubt, times when the light seemed dimmer, when the faith of the people was tested by external threats or internal strife. But each time, the Kingdom of Light prevailed, not through force or power, but through the enduring strength of its principles and the unity of its people. The Council of Keepers, now a revered institution, continued to guide the kingdom with wisdom and humility, always seeking to interpret the teachings of Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer in ways that were relevant to the present. They reminded the people that the light was not just a distant memory, but a living force within each of them, a flame that could be reignited through acts of kindness, justice, and faith. One day, in the midst of a particularly difficult time for the kingdom, when uncertainty loomed and the people's faith wavered, a miraculous event occurred. A young girl, barely of age, who had been raised in a small, remote village, began to speak of visions she had experienced. These visions were filled with light, and in them, she saw Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer standing beside her, guiding her to spread a new message of hope. The girl, with a heart pure and full of faith, journeyed to Alaric's Rest, where she was welcomed by the Council of Keepers. When she spoke, her words were filled with a wisdom far beyond her years. She spoke of renewal, of the need to embrace the light within, and of the importance of remembering that the Kingdom of Light was not just a place, but a promise of love, peace, and unity that every person carried in their heart. Her words resonated deeply with the people. They saw in her the same divine light that had shone through Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer. The girl became known as the Child of Dawn, a new prophet for a new era, who rekindled the flame of faith in the hearts of all who heard her. She traveled across the Eternal Kingdom, spreading a message of hope and renewal, reminding the people that the light of the prophets was still with them, guiding them through even the darkest times. Under the guidance of the Child of Dawn, the Kingdom of Light entered a period of great revival. The people's faith was renewed, and the kingdom flourished once more, stronger than ever. The Child of Dawn's teachings were woven into the fabric of the kingdom, and her presence was a reminder that the divine light was eternal, ever-present, and always within reach. As the Child of Dawn grew older, she became a beloved leader, much like the prophets before her. She ensured that the Kingdom of Light remained true to its founding principles, and under her leadership, the kingdom expanded its influence, not through conquest, but through the power of its ideals. The Eternal Kingdom became a symbol of hope and peace for all the world, its light shining brightly in every corner of the globe. Eventually, the Child of Dawn, like Saint Alaric and the Lightbringer before her, began to feel the call of the divine. She knew her time was drawing near, but she also knew that the Kingdom of Light was in good hands. The people had learned that the light was within them all along, that they were the keepers of the legacy of the prophets, and that they could continue to spread the light long after she was gone. On her final day, surrounded by the people she had inspired, the Child of Dawn stood at Alaric's rest and looked out over the eternal kingdom. With a heart full of love, she blessed the people, urging them to continue the work of the prophets, to carry the light forward, and to keep the Kingdom of Light shining brightly for all time. As the sun set and the sky filled with a radiant glow, the Child of Dawn ascended into the heavens, her form bathed in a brilliant light that illuminated the entire kingdom. Her final words echoed across the land: "The light will never fade, as long as you keep it alive in your hearts." And with that, the Child of Dawn was gone, but her light remained, a part of the eternal legacy of the Kingdom of Light. The people, now more united than ever, carried on her mission. The Kingdom of Light continued to stand as a beacon of hope, its influence spreading across the world, touching the lives of countless souls. The legacy of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the Child of Dawn lived on, their teachings a guiding force for all who sought the light. The Kingdom of Light endured through the ages, a testament to the power of faith, love, and the enduring light that could never be extinguished. And so, the story of the greatest Christian prophets in history came to its rightful conclusion, their light continuing to shine, guiding humanity toward a future filled with hope, peace, and eternal light. As the years went by after the ascension of the Child of Dawn, the Kingdom of Light flourished like never before. The teachings of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the Child of Dawn had become the very fabric of the kingdom's culture and governance. Their words were not merely remembered, they were lived. The eternal kingdom, now more expansive than ever, was revered not only for its power but for its wisdom and compassion. Pilgrims from every corner of the world continued to journey to Alaric's rest, seeking enlightenment and inspiration from the holy site where three great prophets had once stood. The sacred texts of the prophets were studied and revered, guiding the kingdom's laws, education, and daily life. Despite its vastness, the kingdom remained a unified whole, its people bound together by the light that had been kindled so many generations ago. The Child of Dawn's legacy was evident in every aspect of life, from the kindness shown by neighbors to one another to the just and fair governance of the realm. In the years that followed, the Kingdom of Light faced challenges, as all kingdoms do. But each time, the people looked to the examples set by Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the Child of Dawn. They remembered that the true strength of the kingdom was not in its armies or its wealth, but in the light that each citizen carried within their heart, the light of faith, love, and unity. Generations passed, and the eternal kingdom became the center of a vast and peaceful world. Its influence stretched far beyond its borders, touching the lives of people in distant lands who had never even set foot within its walls. The light that had started with a humble shepherd, grown with a visionary leader, and been rekindled by a pure-hearted child now illuminated the world. The story of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the Child of Dawn became the foundation of a global civilization, one that valued peace, justice, and the dignity of every person. The Kingdom of Light was no longer just a place, it was an idea, a way of life that had transformed the world, and so, the Kingdom of Light endured, its light shining ever brighter as the years turned into centuries, and centuries into millennia. The stories of the prophets were passed down from one generation to the next, each telling infused with the reverence and love that had kept the kingdom strong. In the end, the Kingdom of Light was not merely the greatest kingdom in history, it was a beacon of hope for all humanity, a symbol of what could be achieved when people came together in faith and love. The light that had been kindled so long ago continued to burn brightly, guiding all who sought its warmth and truth. The Kingdom of Light, eternal and unwavering, remained a shining testament to the power of faith, the enduring strength of unity, and the unbreakable bond of love that connected all who lived within its borders. The light of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the child of dawn would never fade, for it had become part of the very soul of the world. The kingdom of light flourished for countless generations, with the light of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the child of dawn guiding its people through every challenge and triumph. The teachings of these prophets became the bedrock of a civilization that valued wisdom, justice, and compassion above all else. The Eternal Kingdom, as it was now known, stood as a symbol of hope and unity, its influence stretching far beyond its borders. But as the kingdom reached the heights of prosperity and peace, a new challenge emerged, one that would test the very foundation of the light that had sustained the realm for so long. A dark force, ancient and malevolent, began to stir in the far reaches of the world. Whispers of unrest and discord spread across distant lands, and rumors of a powerful adversary seeking to extinguish the light of the kingdom of light reached the ears of the Council of Keepers. The Council, guardians of the prophet's teachings, convened in Alaric's rest to seek guidance. They prayed for wisdom, hoping to find a way to protect the kingdom from this growing threat. As they meditated in the sacred halls, a vision came to them, a vision of a young boy, born under the brightest star in the sky, who would rise to meet the darkness and preserve the light. This boy, known as Aurelian, grew up in a small village on the outskirts of the kingdom. From a young age, he displayed an innate connection to the light, a gift that set him apart from others. The villagers spoke of his ability to heal the sick and bring peace to those in turmoil, and soon, word of his miraculous deeds spread across the land. As Aurelian grew older, the darkness that threatened the kingdom became more pronounced. Strange occurrences, once dismissed as mere superstition, began to plague the kingdom. Crops withered, storms ravaged the land, and the shadows seemed to lengthen with each passing day. The people grew fearful, their faith tested as they faced an enemy unlike any they had known before. In this time of uncertainty, Aurelian was summoned to Alaric's rest. The Council of Keepers recognized him as the one foretold in their vision, the one destined to face the darkness. Aurelian accepted his calling with humility and resolve, understanding that the fate of the eternal kingdom rested on his shoulders. Guided by the teachings of the prophets and the wisdom of the council, Aurelian embarked on a journey to confront the source of the darkness. He traveled to the farthest reaches of the kingdom, where the light had. As, finally, in the climactic battle, Aurelian called upon the spirits of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, and the Child of Dawn. Their light merged with his, creating a brilliant radiance that pierced the darkness and banished the shadowy entity from the world. The darkness, once so threatening, dissolved into nothingness, and the light of the eternal kingdom shone brighter than. With the darkness vanquished, Aurelian returned to Alaric's rest, where he was hailed as a hero. The people rejoiced, their faith restored, knowing that the light would never be extinguished as long as they held it in their hearts. Aurelian, now a revered figure in the kingdom, chose to live a humble life, dedicating himself to teaching others about the power of the light and the importance of unity. Lo, under Aurelian's guidance, the eternal kingdom entered a new era of peace and prosperity. The light of the prophets continued to guide the people, and the memory of Saint Alaric, the Lightbringer, the Child of Dawn, and now Aurelian, lived on in the hearts of all who called the kingdom of light their home. And so, the kingdom of light endured, its light unyielding, its spirit indomitable. This is where our fun story ends. If after this moment you are one of the heroes, do not forget, hero, to press subscribe and like so that we can continue with the fun stories and express your opinion in the comment. Goodbye.